What started out as a normal walk on the beach turned into an urgent rescue as we had to save baby sea turtles trapped in their nest. Welcome to Peligro Life, where every animal encounter is 100% real. So please like, subscribe, and join us as we use our years of sea turtle research experience to get these baby sea turtles back into the ocean and learn some of the challenges they're going to face on their journey. As we were walking the beach, we noticed a whole bunch of baby sea turtle tracks. This let me know a nest hatched late last night or early this morning. So I followed the tracks up into the sandbank to see if we could find the nest. As we got close, it was clear that a bunch of turtles had left the nest and made it to the ocean. But what else could we find? There's a depression here, and there's a depression here. This looks more like where a sea turtle nest could be. With a potential nest site identified, we started digging to see what we could find. This is an example of a baby turtle that didn't make it, but it's 100% natural. Expecting only to find the non-living remnants of a nest, we were shocked when all of a sudden there was live baby sea turtles. We had to act fast and get these turtles to the ocean. We found 3 more alive babies, so this brings the total to 17, and it's important that we get them on the cool sand and crawling to the beach as soon as possible. So it looks like these turtles are asleep right now, and they were asleep. They were underground and they were trapped and they couldn't get out. So it's gonna take them a little while to wake up, and once they wake up, they're gonna start stretching their muscles, and then they're gonna be going down the hill and hopefully making it to that water. What we're gonna do in the meantime is protect them from predators. We're gonna make it as easy as possible so that no crabs, no birds come and snatch them up, no dogs. We're gonna go ahead and just watch them. And as much as it's breaking your heart right now, I know you're like, hey, Adam, go pick up that turtle, toss him into the ocean, and make sure that he can get out and start swimming. If I did that, that poor turtle would almost 100% die because it wouldn't have the time to stretch and it wouldn't know the beach that it was born at. So this is a really important time for imprinting, where they're getting that smell and they're getting that geographical tag of, this is exactly the spot that I'm supposed to be. These turtles are looking a lot more awake and they're really making some good progress. They know it's gonna be hot and they wanna get in that water. We're gonna name this turtle Jorge, and Jorge has got a good chance. Jorge is really going and moving strong. It's almost like he's done this walk before, and in no time he's gonna be in the ocean. So let's all cheer Jorge on. So close, only about 100 more feet to go. All right, the one that's making it closest to the ocean right now is named Adriana, and Adriana is looking like she's got a healthy chance to get into that ocean and become one of the breeding females that comes to this exact same beach and then lays her own eggs year after year, making the population even bigger.
Watch me go!
This is really typical of turtles that are coming out of the nest late. They might have a deformity, and so we can call this one Nemo because it looks like his front fin has a deformity that's making it really, really hard for him to come out into the ocean, and it's going to make it hard to swim as well. But just like the movie Nemo, maybe this little guy has a chance. So let's follow Nemo on his challenging journey back into the sea and learn a little bit more about sea turtles. It surprises a lot of people to know that for every 1,000 eggs laid, only one will turn into an adult turtle. Even though this is a shocking statistic, especially if you're a baby sea turtle, this is the way that this species reproduces. They have a lot of young and no parental care, whereas humans, we have few young and invest a lot of energy in parental care. The good news is the olive ridley sea turtle can come back to the same beach 1 to 3 times in a season and lay 100 eggs each time. A sea turtle who lives a long and healthy life can reproduce for up to 35 years. This means that one female in her lifetime can produce 3 to 10 young that should successfully make it to adulthood. Eventually, Nemo made it safely into the water and began swimming out past the waves to start the rest of his adventure. What's kind of crazy to think is that sea turtles, when in that nest, they hatch 5 days before they actually come out onto the sand. And so they're swimming through a bunch of soft sand. What I noticed in the nest was there was a lot of hard sand and dead turtles on it. So it was really hard for them to swim through that sand and get up to the top. With sea turtles, when the egg is laid, they're not a boy or a girl. It takes the temperature of the sand in the nest that they're in to turn them into either a boy or a girl. And in our world, we say hot mamas and cool daddies. If the temperature is hotter in the nest, they're gonna turn into females. If the temperature is cooler in the nest, then those eggs will be boys. Now there's an extreme, right? They can't be too hot, otherwise they're just cooked eggs. And if they're too cold, then they're just frozen turtles. So it's gotta be that right balance. You see how big a baby turtle is. It's tiny. It's about the size of a silver dollar. And when I have my giant feet and I make a footprint, this is like a mountain for a sea turtle. Now in the wild, they're gonna encounter logs and all sorts of things, but humans definitely leave a lot of footprints, and this can be really challenging for baby sea turtles to get through. Dogs are typically a big predator for turtles because they can dig up the nests and they'll eat the eggs or they'll eat the baby turtles. We're lucky that for some reason our Costa Rican street dog gets the conservation vibe, and she's out here and she doesn't want to play with these turtles. She doesn't want to eat them at all. She wants us to throw the ball or play fetch with a stick, which is really nice because not all street dogs are like that. This is the aftermath of a turtle nest hatching, right? Not all the turtles are going to hatch and make it alive. What ended up happening in this case was that all these dead turtles were trapping the live ones underneath it. And so they had hatched and they were making their way up, but they couldn't make it up because of all the dead turtles on top. There's a ton of different reasons why baby turtles die in the nest. So sometimes they get an infection, the maggot gets inside and starts eating them, and then unfortunately they pass away. So luckily, we were able to save 14 baby sea turtles. They all made it back to the beach just in time as well. This is now 10 o'clock in the morning, and when we came here at about 9 o'clock, there was a whole bunch of clouds in the sky. It wasn't so hot, so if it had been any later, these poor little turtles would not have been able to survive just because of the heat, let alone the predators that are trying to get them. In my years of sea turtle research, what we would typically do once we had a nest like this is we would put on gloves, number one, and we would take everything out to see what happened. So we would go and we'd count all the different stages of the turtles. So these are full turtles. We'd see which ones have maggots, which ones have other things. Fungus is a big thing that gets turtles. Then we would go in and we would get the eggs. So underneath all of this is even more eggs, and they get really nasty. This is where like they're unhatched eggs that have been underground for 60 days and they're full of disgustingness. So I'm not gonna go that far, but I do wanna show you the eggs. So let's get a closer look at the eggs. This is a turtle egg, and you can see it's roughly the size of a ping pong ball. This is one that the turtle is hatched out of. Oh, there's maggots in there. Ah, look at all the maggots. Just looking at the shell, I can tell that these are baby olive ridley turtles. Olive ridley turtles are the most common turtles in the world. They're the second smallest, and they're the only ones that are not in danger of extinction. They're still threatened, and it's really important that efforts protect these turtles so that they can continue to exist. As you can see, there are 34 dead baby sea turtles that were sitting on top of all of those 17 sea turtles that were able to make it back into the water. Turtle nest is not always going to have that high of a success rate with the babies hatching. We even have full egg that is an undeveloped egg, probably full of fungus right now. These are ones that the babies have popped out of, and you know, this is nature. Not every single one's gonna make it just from the start with the nest. The best thing that we can do, since we've checked this nest for any last survivors, is bury these turtles back in, and nature's gonna happen, and things are gonna eat them, but we don't want them sitting and smelling. Honestly, you guys, we need to get smell-o-vision because this is just rank. This is, the dead, rotting turtles are nasty, and every time I was reaching my hand in there, I don't even have gloves. This is a little bit more rustic than my days of being a sea turtle researcher. What I really liked about today is we met so many people walking the beach, and we got to share this experience with them to help them learn about conservation of turtles and just kind of spark that interest. Seeing a baby animal like that can just make anybody light up, and it was so cute. The little boy even wanted to help pick the turtle up and take it to the ocean. These are the moments that stand out in a person's life. And even you watching this can have that experience and get connected to nature and understand the appropriate way in which we can help. Because not every time that we are helping is actually doing anything good for the animal. If we had carried those turtles all the way down to the water, that would almost be a guaranteed death sentence for that poor little baby. Thanks for joining us on another adventure at Peligro Life to rescue some baby sea turtles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us for more adventures.